And next we'll hear from Jerry Lawson. Jerry worked at City Light for 25 years, retiring in 2006. As an African American in the trades, he personally battled racism, nepotism, and discrimination, while also defending and providing critical on-the-job training to tradeswomen. In 1994, he became one of the first black crew chiefs working in the underground residential distribution division. And he's still working in the trade and is active in the community and his church. So thank you for being here, Jerry.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you, of course. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. You would think we was in a third world country. You would think we was in a country with two different constitutions. Well, that is a fact. That's a matter of fact. And to give you a background of my grandfather stepped off a ship and was a slave in America. My grandfather. My father was born in 1897. And my father was a World War I veteran, but he did not benefit the benefits of being a veteran. My father was born in Riceboro, Georgia, under some people named Lawson. So everything was lost. See, sometimes we just all over life as it really is in America. And affirmative action to a white man is that his son will be his apprentice in whatever trade he's in. That is affirmative action in America. And you talk to a white man and then all of a sudden well, you guys man, whoa. You guys have been in control from Jump Street. We look, I was a Vietnam vet. My father was married twice because his first wife passed away and he married my mother, and then came another set of children. So my older sister is 87. I have a brother, 84. And my other brother, he passed away 4 years ago. But they were Korean vets in 1950 in the Korean War. And my Leroy was a veteran for 22 years in the Air Force from Vietnam to Korea. And I had a cousin, never met him until after he retired. He was a 32-year Sergeant Major Marine from Korea to Vietnam. Give me a young, give me a tired. Fight for your country. But when you get off out of the uniform, get back in the field. White men go one way, black men go another. The Tuskegee Airmen fought World War II. They fought to fight. It wasn't for Eleanor Roosevelt, who flew with one of the instructors, and there was a story about that because the man gave a testimony with one of the original Tuskegee Airmen, where she went down to the college or the airfield. That was designed to fail. It was designed to fail. So to encourage, she went and flew with one of the pilots, and the story was that one of the Secret Servicemen called FDR and said that, Ellie is getting ready to go fly one of these colored pilots. And the president said, well, Ellie's going to do whatever the heck she wants to do, and hung the phone. What I'm saying is, we have fought in this country from the day we got off the ship until 2017. And the war is still not over. I'm a fighter. There's just something about fighting. There's something about, not in the physical sense, but in the educational sense, that I can do this job just as good as you, if not better. Because I take my job, my occupation, very seriously. And I fought this, all the racism, all of the parts that were on a capstan in the day was called a niggerhead. Same thing on the ship. Then when they wanted to pull up the anchor or let the sails down, because it was the strongest, it was the symbol of something very strong that could do the job. But in a derogatory sense, all that existed while you were working. They say, hey, Lawson, go get not the capstan, but these are degrading things. And as long as I can stay above you, that's that superior mindset. And you find out, just like in some of the scenarios in Archie Bunker, the only reason why Archie Bunker was a dock worker is because his father. Exactly. And he had an educated son-in-law who kept putting it in his face that you're no better than anybody else. The only way you are where you are is because of your privilege. And sometimes Caucasian people don't even realize that they're rolling over somebody else because they've been anesthetized to the fact that I have been on top from a child on up, and everything is handed to you. No matter what field you get in, I happened to get in, I was an aircraft mechanic in the Air Force, and Boeing hired me 49 years ago in New Jersey to come out to the Northwest. And then 3 years, 5 days later, I was laid off. About 70,000 people in the street. And if you remember that, the last man turned out the lights on 179th and Back Highway, sign is sitting there. Well, we all have, there's a synoptic of freedom. They've got the radical. I did it in a Christian manner, and I've been very successful at it. If you deal with the heart of a man, he'll change. The only way a man changes, a woman changes from their mindset is in the heart. Except that, you can have all the laws, all the charters, constitution, but except it be in the heart of a person, they will never change. Excuse me. So getting into the field, I came to Seattle City Light. I got my apprenticeship with Puget Power. Excuse me. And when I got hired I left Puget Power because of the pressures. I was the only first black lineman, apprentice lineman in the history of Puget Sound Power and Light Company, along with a friend of mine. But we succeeded, and then I left Puget. And then I worked construction lineman for 7 months, and I put an application in with City Light. And I came to City Light in 1981, February the 9th, as a lineman. And we seen the disparities, we seen the racism, we seen the pole crew was where that was supposed to be like you say, an egotistical, the so-called ones that can't cut it or hack it, they were on the pole crew, and they never seem to have gotten into the distribution of climbing the poles, and especially the black guys. They would go on the pole crew and they would just sit there. Unfortunately, supposed to be there maybe 3 months, they would be there longer. And we would fight that. They said, look, this guy can't get any training setting poles. He needs to be on the pole doing the work. And except he get that experience, he will always be behind. But there are systems that are designed. But you know what? Like a salmon going upstream, there's a fight. There's a spirit that you cannot kill. And I'm going to get to that at the end of this. Being a lineman, which I took a lot of pride in being, because it is it's a physical job, but you also have to be intelligent. You could be electrocuted in a matter of seconds if you are not putting the right proper electrical protections on the cables, on the line. There's certain procedures that you have to follow, and they're very necessary to you and your partner as you climb the pole and do the work. See, climbing the pole is the physical thing, and once you get up there, then you have to go to work. So it's a mindset job. It's a very skillful job. It's a pride job. But you know what? All men want is an opportunity. I don't want a hand out. All I need is a hand up. I didn't come in here, you know, we've been stigmatized as a people, have always been welfare, lazy, but I dare you, and I challenge you to this day. Go to the library. I challenge you, each and every one of you, to get a book on black inventors. It will blow your mind who made America America through patents. See, patents do not lie. Patents, facts. And I'm saying that to say this. The only reason why black folks have never got the recognition of the inventions that have taken place in America is because they all have Anglo-Saxon names. It's not Mugabe Mobutu invented the oiling machine. It was Elijah McCoy who invented the oiling machine. And the origination of the real McCoy is, heard that. Now you know. Now this is the history of that. Now I got my time, don't get me wrong. I'm just educating you in a synoptic view of how I got to be where I am. Elijah, the milling machine, the milling companies in back east, they were seizing from going back and forth, and the viscosity of a steel on steel or metal on metal is to oil that particular machine so it doesn't seize up, burn up, and then you're out of production. Well, he invented every so many revolutions, a drop of oil would fall on the machine as it was milling. And other companies came out with the same type, but their patent was wrong, and theirs failed. And the people said, darn it, I want the real McCoy. And that's how you heard that. But if it would have been the real Mobutu, you would know that he designed that machine. Even in the Civil War, all slaves, written in their Southern Constitution, all things that were invented by black men would go to the master. That's in steel. That's in concrete. That was the system of America. But I challenge you to get a book on inventions, on the coupling on the railroad car. 2 for every car. He was awarded $50,000. I'm saying that to say how the industry changed in railroading, because most signalmen were either arms cut off because they had a pin and they had to uncouple, and they had to get in harm's way to uncouple the car. Many times they were crushed to death. And this man came up with a pulling bar out of harm's way on the coupling, and that's how he got $50,000. The thing about black people in America, which white men have always feared, is that once they got into the industry world, that they would just excel because of hey, we got a brain. You know, you can tell me how Neanderthal I am, but I'll tell you one thing. I know how to survive in America, where a lot of folks wouldn't last 2 months because of the system design. Getting back to city life. We learned how to survive racism, demeaning, ostracized, criticized. When I became a crew chief, they handed me the worst jobs to fail. But the God that I have in me, see, He hasn't created everything. And all wisdom and knowledge comes from Him. And all I had to do was link up, ask Him, what did I need you to do this job? And you know what? I would be running to the job, running to work. They said, Lawson, what's up? I said, I got it. 2 in the morning, the Lord gave me just how to do this job efficiently, speedily. And that was my help. It wasn't from the other crew chiefs. Very few help, very few, very few. Even in training, when we were training to be a crew chief, the white guy got more time, except I would get up and go into the supervisor's office and say, Joe X got more time, I want more time. And you know what? The only way I got it was I was to speak up. If you, silence is consent, and I'm not satisfied. I was not born to be satisfied. I can't win every battle, but I tell you one thing, I'm going to win the war. And you got to pick your battle. You can't win them all, but I know one thing: through tact, through intellect, educated talking, that sometimes pisses off a white man. When you could look eyeball to eyeball and let him know exactly how things work and how it should be operated. I'm not walking in with a shuffle and looking down at the ceiling or the floor. I'm looking you in the eye, because you know what? You put your DVDs on just like I did. And I've learned that through the military. I learned that through my father, how he maintained himself working. He was a laborer, but when he got dressed, you thought he was a doctor, because he was a true man. I lived with both parents. I didn't come from a broken home. I had a mother and I had a father. Amen. So I'm just saying how to deal in America. You have to have two hats. And that's the way you survive. That's the way I have survived. And the jobs I've done at Seattle City Light, one in particular was I worked for the Pride Company. It was a contract. 5 condos on Alki and Harbor Avenue is under my belt. And we did the job so efficient, 2-3 days. We were in and we were out. Put a 208 bank in and run the wires, hooked up the secondaries, and we were gone. And so he built another one. And then the engineer and I were so tight, we knew just how we wanted to do things. My name wound up on his work order. And that urinated the dispatcher. Oh, yeah. So unbeknown to me, that when the third job came, with my name on it, on the work order, he crossed it out and gave it to another crew chief. And when he showed up on the job, they said, "Where's Lawson?" He's done 2 of my jobs. Oh, I don't know what he said, but I tell you one thing, he made a phone call downtown. He said, "If you don't get that black man back out here on this job, we're gonna." I don't know what he did, what he said, but I'll tell you, the next day, the work order was on my desk, where I see my name crossed out. I'm telling you, if God before you, he's more than the whole world against you. I've seen him work. I've seen him change hearts of redneck racist people. Because you hate me, but I love you. And love always overcomes evil, every single time. I found that out working at Boeing. I found that out working any and everywhere. You can hate me because you don't even know who I am, but there's something in you that just, what your mother and your grandfather told you, and then, man, you know, what they, you know, man, you're all right. You know, well, yeah, you get to work with somebody. See, the only thing is the fear. That's what 45 is doing right now to this country. And if we're seeing the repercussions of America, when you see Sessions, he wants to take this country back 40, 50, 60 years. Because this man lived in discrimination and hatred and suppressing all his life. And he doesn't know anything else except his heart changed. It won't change. And except you as Americans pray or get a hold of somebody, get a hold of your God to change this country, it will fail. If you have to get people from India, Asia, to run your IT and leave the guy on the corner that grew up in America and give him the wrong type of education, saying you're going to be a domestic, you're going to do secondary, it's just a matter of time that we're going to be superseded by other countries. And I'm not a prophet of doom, I'm just a prophet of truth. You just can't. Lincoln said a country, and the Bible says a country divided by itself cannot stand. And we're right at the peak of just teetering because we have refused our own people and incorporated them into the system. We got billionaires and people fighting to be trillionaires. We want to take from the poor and give to the 1%. What kind of mathematics are we looking at? We let a few black whites, poor whites, few black women into the system, but we don't let all in. Now, in just 3 generations now, in America, just in 3 generations, my grandfather, my father, my cousins. In 1989, I have a cousin. She was one of 20 in America who had a doctor's degree, medical doctor, and she was a double major. She was a medical lawyer. You said, whoa. She went to Germany, learned the language, and took German courses. I'm just saying, you see this, you see the value that we have?
That we're wasting.
And we go to India and have somebody come over and let them work at half price. And then we say we can't find anybody, but it's gonna cost our country. See, it's a this place should be packed, but we only have a few. But those that you hear our story, our dilemma. Why do we have to fight our people so hard? We treat our enemies better than we do our own citizens. And I'll tell you, you reap what you sow. I've had a supervisor. I'm out on a job at night, and that person would come out and talk to all my linemen, get back in her car or his car, and go home.
Without talking to you.
I said a word. They said, well, man, how do you endure? How do you see the well, I know one thing. I've learned to conquer that kind of ignorance, that kind of insult on a daily basis. Myself and another crew chief would be humiliated by one supervisor. And he was a Filipino. And you know what? Him and I, we had went to the union and and they would discipline the person. And you know what we did? I did this. I'm the underground crew chief, and he was the overhead crew chief. He had more overtime and call-outs, and I had more overtime and call-outs in the underground. And we showed that to the board. And I said, we're dragging this person trying to do our job, and we are at the top. Sometimes we had to laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna tell you, you talking about racism? There was a job that we did coming out of Skyway. We had done the job, truck was coming back to 4th and Spokane. I'm in my car. I'm coming down Renton Avenue. And at a stoplight, there was a police car to my right. The light was green. I went on down the hill. And I knew here they came. They came out and they made a free right turn. And they followed me all the way down to Henderson in Renton Avenue. And the lights came on. So I pulled, and, you know, I'm thinking, well, listen, they were on a call. And then, a city light call. Heck, this is 9:30 at night. They stopped me, and you know what the officer said? 2 of them. One of them came over to the car, and he said, I see you have exempt plates, but no tabs. Well, same with any other police car or any civil city, county, state, they all have exempt on it, EXP. But this was told. I said, don't you see that this is a city light car? Well, first of all, I turned on the dome light, put my both hands on the steering wheel, because I know there's something going down. This is not kosher. So he says, so his partner is in the back ready to blow my head off. I want to see your registration. I said, there's no registration, it's a city car. This is like a tent. Now you know what? This is what it was. You see, 2 cops living in a denial situation. He can't be a black guy and legally a crew chief for the city of Seattle.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm downstairs, but I want to thank
We
you.
are we?
It's a very important story.
Absolutely.
I'm very glad that
You got it, brother.
Thank you for
Well,
coming.
we hope you just get the book. Get the books.
That's right.
Black
Get the
Inventors.
books.
Sure,
Check it out. Oh yeah, he's got something, sir. He's got a piece of. He's got a
Did you get a chance to sign that?
I did.
Okay, great.
Thank you. But this is what the situations go on for people of color. What's he doing out here at 9:30? The car's not reported stolen. And you know what the cop says on the right? Oh, we're off by 1 number. So I put in my report that night, DWB, driving while blind.
Yeah, really.
At the expense of me at being harassed or my life taken, all over somebody that is living in a denial. See, you know what, and I've witnessed this. I witnessed in the construction. I see linemen walk by me and they put their head down. Like you're not here, you know, you don't exist. And I remember I had to tell one big burly lineman, he walking by, he dropped his head. I said, you know what, buddy? I said, a good lineman walks with his head up. And from that time on, because, you know, I could feel his spirit. I knew where he was coming from. I know our time is well.